Sup dorks, it's Hank, and I'm here to answer your Taco Bell questions from the comments of my video where I ate a bunch of dehydrated Taco Bell. Freeze-dried Taco Bell dong. Taco Bell noise goes there. What about this? Dong, 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 da dong, 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 dong. Did you do it? Sometimes you have to make an editor work extra hard because then they're working for longer and they get paid more. Question number one, what does freezing do? Why not just suck the air out and let the water boil and leave? Because you don't want that. You want the water to be frozen so that it can sublimate. We're gonna get to sublimate versus sublime in a second. If you just dehydrate something, if you just heat it up and let the water come out, it's gonna have a different texture. But also, it can affect the chemistry. It's gonna change the flavor. It's gonna be different. Freeze drying's just different. It preserves more of the chemical attributes and more of the physical attributes, though of course, it becomes very hard because there's no water in it. Hank, what in the hell even is this channel? To be clear, I'm not complaining. It's just like every time you upload, there's no way to know what it's going to be about. That's my goal. That's what I want. I want you to be so confused. I want you to think about youtube.com/Hank's channel. When you think about youtube.com/Hank's channel, what I want you to think is not, oh, Hank Green is a political commentator or a science communicator or a comedian. I want you to think Hank Green is Hank Green. That's what I do here. That's what I do on Vlogbrothers. This is what I do on TikTok. It's what I do on Blue Sky. I could pick a lane and stay in it, and it would be way better for my career. Why am I not doing that? Because that's not who I am. And I never will be, not because I don't want it, but because I can't. Paul and about 1,000 other people, when the water molecules, do you mean sublimate? I said sublime. Isn't it sublimate instead of sublime? Also, I know you and Alec know each other, and I wish there was a Taco Bell seasoning that tasted like the entire burrito. I would so buy that. The people at Taco Bell seem to have no qualms about doing absolutely unhinged shit. They made a taco once where the shell was meat, and I loved it. But to the point about sublimate versus sublime, these words mean the same thing. Sublimate is more common, but sublime can be a verb that means to sublimate. And that's, I don't know if that's how I learned it or what, but that's how my brain goes. I feel like my first chemistry teacher ever used sublime in this way. They would say the water will sublime rather than sublimate, but both are fine, just so you know. Both are fine, though apparently not fine enough because 90 people left comments telling me that I was doing it wrong. I'm not doing it wrong. It's fine if you think I'm doing it wrong, but I'm not, and I'm not ashamed. So is it really still a soft taco? This is such an excellent point. The weird thing is, even though this taco was very obviously hard, it is still a soft taco, which indicates to me that soft taco, a Taco Bell soft taco does not describe the softness of the taco. It describes that it is that kind of taco. And that you can make a soft taco hard and it will still be a soft taco. And that's interesting to me. Semantics, man. Words are wild and all of this exists inside of our brains. But do we all agree that a hard soft taco is still a soft taco? Because it's not a hard taco, that's a different thing. That's the other kind. Taco Bell has defined soft tacos so thoroughly in my brain that even a hard one is still a soft taco. Are you sure that's safe to eat? Pretty sure. I was fine. I did not experience any negative consequences and indeed continued to eat out of the bag of Taco Bell stuff when I got hungry for a while. I think it's over now. A little salmon jerky in there. It's not even open, so that's definitely still good. How much does the pressure of the atmosphere hold us to Earth versus the power of gravity holding us to the planet? The pressure doesn't work this way. I know that I said it in a way that makes it sound like that. I said like all of the air stacked on top of us is what we experience as pressure, but it doesn't just like sit on top of our shoulders and head. It comes from every direction. So we are getting it, and like when you jump up into the air, there's also equal pressure under your feet because all the air is pushing down on the air. It's a fluid. It's not like a bunch of pennies stacked on top of you. If you can imagine being surrounded by marbles and you jump, then the marbles will push on the underside of you and they will push on the upper side of you. And then if gravity is able to overcome the rolling resistance of the marbles, you will fall back down. But it's pushing from every direction. Can you imagine being submerged in a bunch of marbles? Gravity does all of the pulling down. Pressure pushes from every direction. It's more like being like vacuum sealed, being squished. I mean, I can kind of imagine it better when I'm thinking about water, but even then, you don't feel it in the same way. It's a hug from every direction, and that includes from underneath in the areas that there's air pushing up on my arm now and down on my arm, squeezing it from all around. Are we watching the first ever dehydrated mukbang? Almost definitely not. Almost definitely not, but that is what I should have titled the video. It really makes me curious what kind of stomach issues this will cause, because normally it would turn into one type of issue, but without all the water. What happened? I know this is a weird question, but what kind of issues your stomach have after that meal, Hank? I'm a lifetime Taco Bell eater. I've never experienced this, and I think it's fake. I don't think that Taco Bell gives you stomach issues more than any other food. I don't get it. I've never experienced stomach issues from Taco Bell. I have lots of tummy issues. I'm a tummy issue boy. But like Taco Bell seems like fine. I feel like it is a pure urban legend that has become so ingrained in our society that we all think that Taco Bell makes you do big poops or bad poops. But it doesn't. And it's amazing that Taco Bell continues to be so successful despite this culture-wide phenomena where everyone thinks that it gives you diarrhea when I just don't think it does. I experienced, again, no negative consequences from the dehydrated Taco Bell. Why would you do this, Hank? You've already had cancer once. Look, you need to eat more fiber. I need to eat more fiber. We all need to eat more fiber. And there's not a lot of fiber in Taco Bell. But come on. Taco Bell doesn't give you cancer, though it does not have a lot of fiber, and eating fiber does decrease your risks of certain kinds of cancer. I don't know, man. I'm not worried about it. Let me tell you, live your life. If a box of dehydrated Taco Bell shows up on your porch, you gotta eat it. You gotta live that life. You cannot be held back by all of these fears. Hank, do you have ADHD? Asking for a friend. Me, I'm the friend. You just give Matt ADHD energy and it's great. I actually only recently found out that I was, in fact, as a child, diagnosed with ADHD. I found a binder where it went through my assessment. I was very sort of like middling ADHD. It seems like I have ADHD. What I've always said is like whatever I have, I like it. But yes, it seems as if I was indeed diagnosed with ADHD as a child. I just didn't realize that until literally this year as a 45-year-old man, and was recommended to go to the doctor for medication, but they decided not to put me on medication, and so I never knew that I had ADHD because they were focused on some other problems that I had that were like bigger problems, which I also read all about in that binder. I had disabilities that don't exist anymore. You know, back in the 80s, I was diagnosed with a thing that is no longer a thing, basically. Fascinating. I'll walk you through that sometime if you want me to. I got my problems. We're all different in our own different ways. But do I give ADHD energy? Probably. Whatever I have, I like it. That's what I'm saying. Hank, those underpant patterns are so cute. I'm curious though, who decided 3X was only a 35-inch waist? I normally wear a 1 to 2X and I wear a 38. So the way that waist is measured is by the actual circumference of the band. And with underpants, band stretch. Usually, underwear don't give you a waist measurement for that reason. So you don't want to wear an underpant where the band is the same size as your waist because they stretch. You want to wear an underwear where the band is significantly bigger than the rest of your waist. So basically, it's confusing to include waist measurements on underwear, which is why it's generally not done, because they're very stretchy and they're meant to stretch. And so if you were to buy, like if I wear a 35 and I bought a 35, that would be a pair of underpants that were way too big for me. But the way that the next generation of good store underwear are being done is with a company that has a lot of experience in the underwear space. So I trust that we will have all of these details worked out. This is in reference to the fact that I said that I didn't have like anything in my house that created a vacuum. And indeed, an air conditioner creates a vacuum. Also, so does a vacuum cleaner. I mean, neither of them create like a pure vacuum or anything, but they both create low pressure areas. So thank you for the correction. Equals downvote. Who the hell wants this? Play yourself. I'll die on this hill. All right, everybody, let's go for some connections. Actually, I wasn't even planning on doing it, but now we're doing it, everybody. Connections July 17th, 2025, just for the person who didn't want me to do it, because you know what we do on Hank's channel? Whatever I want. And if you want to leave a downvote, that's one, fine, but two, kind of fucking weird. You know, just stop watching. Like about a third of people stop watching, and that's expected. There's nothing wrong with stopping watching. I got so many compliments from people who are at VidCon who are like, man, I would never watch you play Connections, but once you just roll into it, I'm like, yeah, let's see what this boy does. Hard Feelings, Mario World, Drum and Bass, Wu-Tang. That's a weird first line. Poke, Poke, Sweat, Cape Cod, Biggie, Camisole, Pry, Power, Pack, Snoop, Glue, Worries, Nose Around. So I kind of want to focus on these first line things. So like drum and bass, those both have fish as the second word, and so does cod. Did I get the purple that fast? Camisole, Pry, Nose Around, Worries, Glue, Snoop, not Snook, but Snoop, Hard Feelings, Mario World. I feel good about this as a purple, but I'm not going to click it yet because could be something else. No biggie. It's no biggie. No sweat. Haha! No worries. No poke. No poke. Nose Around, Pry, Snoop. Oh my God. I just did the whole puzzle and you missed it. You missed it, Mr. Downvote. You didn't see how fast I got this one. No sweat, no biggie, no worries. No hard feelings. And that leaves the last one being Mario World, Pack, Glue, maybe Power, Super Mario World, Super Power, Super Glue, Super Pack. Boom! I feel like this is actually the frickin' purple. It is. I got the purple first. And then I got the purple first. Super Mario World, Super Power, Super Glue, and Super Pack? Probably. Super Pack is a little bit obscure. Yes! And then I guess these are equal. We're going to say no sweat, no biggie, no hard feelings, no worries. Did I do it? I did do it. Hell yeah. All right, and for you folks who stuck around, let's do more of these questions that people sent me. The thing I always wondered about dry ice is there any fraction of time in between where it is a solid and where it is a gas when it is technically a liquid and we just can't perceive it because it passes so quickly? No. This is a cool question, and I think a smart question, and I kind of wish that it happened before the connections because then we lost a bunch of people who will never see the answer to this question. Phase changes are a thing because there are different phases, and the different phases are actually like physical things that are existing. When it's a gas, it's because the molecules bounce off of each other but do not interact. When it's a liquid, it's because the molecules are stuck to each other but can move around. And when it's a solid, it's because the molecules are stuck together, but they're so stuck together that they can't move around. These are physical things that are occurring, and what determines whether or not a substance is in one of those phases is the temperature and pressure. There's some other things, but they are small. They're relatively minor, and we're not going to talk about them. You can get carbon dioxide in a situation where it will be liquid. You just have to increase the pressure on it. And so those carbon dioxide molecules will stick to each other, but not so much that they are a solid, and you will be able to force it into a situation where this happens. You can also force ice into a situation where it directly sublimates or sublimes instead of melting by lowering the pressure so that it will just jump right off. But what is happening in these situations where it moves directly from a solid to a gas is that the conditions a liquid would need to exist are not being met. So it cannot exist as a liquid. Like carbon dioxide cannot exist as a liquid at 1 atmosphere of pressure. It is impossible. It can't happen. If it is at 1 atmosphere below a certain temperature, it is a solid, and above a certain temperature, it is a gas. Now, if you keep stacking pressure on top, you can create a situation where there's a temperature at which it is a liquid, but that is not at 1 atmosphere pressure, not at the standard pressure of us, and so it is simply not a condition that is being met. There isn't enough pressure to keep it squeezed together after it leaves the solid form. It immediately becomes a gaseous form. And if you've ever touched dry ice or messed with dry ice, you know that's the case because it does not feel wet. It feels dry. Dangerous to touch. By the way, should have said that at the beginning. Don't. I certainly have. And I burned myself a little bit? Yeah. Cold burned. Whatever that's called. Freeze-dried my fingers, for sure. But not so badly that I permanently damaged myself. Last question, how bad did your stomach hurt? I was fine.